Hello guys, Crisp here and welcome back to another video. Today my friends, I'm gonna be testing the GTX 1080 in Watch Dogs Legion. This one is the Asus Strix version of the card. I am running of course the latest NVIDIA drivers 457.09 optimized for Watch Dogs Legion, and as you can see I overclocked it just a little bit here, plus 50 MHz on the core clock and plus 150 MHz on the memory clock. I am running it with a Ryzen 7 3700X and 16 gigs of RAM, 3200 MHz CL14, and I'm gonna be testing this one at 1080p resolution as well as 1440p, 2560 by 1440, starting off at 1080p, using 80 FOV right here and using the very high settings with no motion blur. This is the very high settings preset, and I just disabled this setting right here. Everything else is still the same, and I'm also going to be testing DirectX 11 and 12 in this one, because I tested DirectX 11 for a little bit. It was kind of hitching a bit. The experience wasn't really that smooth, so I decided to test both APIs here in this video with the 1080. Alright my friends, here we are. You can see that the CPU utilization is actually kind of up there. Like, it's going up to like 90% at times. I've seen it at like 99% once here. That's really interesting. I made sure that no other program was running in the background as well. So yeah, the Ryzen 7 3700X is actually bottlenecking the 1080 here at 1080p very high settings. GPU utilization sometimes does get up there into the 90s, but most of the time is actually running at 80%, 80 to 90%. Anyways, we've seen a couple of stutters already. That's why I don't really test DirectX 11. I prefer DirectX 12 because it's way more stable, but it's okay. So far so good. I actually want to go into that park with the water just to see if it drops a little bit or not, but I don't know where it is, so we're kind of screwed right now. Yeah, I don't want to go into the map because the FPS will just shoot up to the sky, and we're seeing the FPS dropping from 60 right now, so that's all because of the CPU bottleneck. Of course, the 1080 could actually get 60 plus if it wasn't for the CPU. I'm actually gonna buy one of the new Ryzen 9 5900X or 5800X, Ryzen 7, but I think the Ryzen 9 is a little bit better value, and I can take advantage of those cores when I'm editing the videos, so I think it's going to be a good purchase, and it will allow me to test these higher end GPUs more efficiently without CPU bottlenecks. But yeah, at 1080p with the very high settings, we are CPU bound, unfortunately. I'm just gonna pop up the map real quick, guys. Okay, I'm so sorry for, oh gosh, the FPS. Okay, anyways, hopefully that didn't mess up our averages too much. Okay, let's make our way there to the park with the lake, which is extremely demanding in this game. Also, we could actually see better CPU. Oh god, that's a big stutter. Better GPU utilization, actually, not CPU, with the DirectX 12 API, because it's supposed to take better advantage of your CPU cores. I'm not really sure, but I think the 5700 XT wasn't as bottlenecked with the same CPU, and I tested that in DirectX 12, so maybe that has to do with it, because we're running DirectX 11. Anyways, we're here in the park, and well, as you can see, it's actually more demanding than in the city still, even in DirectX 11, because the GPU utilization is up there, whereas in the city area it was in the 80s, and we're still getting around 60 FPS, so it's also a little bit more demanding. We'll see that in the very high settings as well, at 1440p of course. But yeah, so far the game is completely playable. It stutters a little bit here and there, doesn't drop too much near water in DirectX 11, so let's just change it to 1440p. And here we go, 2560 by 1440, same settings across the board, DirectX 11 still, of course, and let's just start counting our frames here. Okay, so it's in the 90s. Now, I've seen, yeah, you see those little spikes, very tiny spikes in the frame time graph. Those are noticeable. I can notice those whenever I'm turning the camera around. It feels like the frames are skipping. Not sure if it's gonna pick that up in the recording, but it probably will, because it's very, very noticeable. That's why I don't really test with DirectX 11, because it just behaves like this. Anyways, over here near the water we get 47, 48 FPS. It's still okay in terms of FPS. The experience is just a little bit worse because it hitches. It skips frames. I don't know what it is. It's very weird. I don't like it. I don't recommend it. So running around the city, we shouldn't be CPU bottlenecked anymore. I think so, at least. CPU utilization is still up there in the upper 80s. So that's insane. It's loading up our 16 threads efficiently this game. Holy crap. This is really intensive, guys. I was not expecting this coming from this game, to be honest. I think it's a little bit lower, the CPU utilization in DirectX 12, but that's from what I've seen with other GPUs. I'm not really sure yet. So far so good. We're near the river as well. We're seeing 50 something FPS. This is still a playable experience. Right now the frame time graph is not really hitching, so it feels smooth. But yeah, 1% lows are already in the 30s because of that issue in the park, I guess. I think it's only when it drops down into the 40s in DirectX 11 that you see those hitching issues, you know. But still, the frame time is not flat as it will be in DirectX 12, so that's something to keep in mind, okay? Maybe you won't notice it, maybe it's gonna run smoothly for you, I don't know. Let me know your experiences in this game. Oh, there it is again. Yeah, it's just, I don't know what's going on with this, to be honest. This is very weird. 1080p resolution, same settings in DirectX 12 this time around. Very high without motion blur, as you can see. Let's get right into it. And here we are. So DirectX 12 now. Wow, okay, so the FPS are probably, yeah, they are gonna drop from 60 here and there. Once again, the GPU utilization is still in the 80s. I'm gonna go ahead and select that area in the map so we know, and we don't have to do it when we're running around, you know, in the middle of the benchmark. Anyways, let's start counting the FPS right now. Here we go. I'm just gonna run around the city, or drive around the city actually, for a little bit once again, and then we're gonna go to that park area to see our minimum FPS, because we are now in DirectX 12 and it actually has some massive drops in whenever you're near water, as you're probably aware by now, you know. So yeah, just running around, you can see that the FPS are not really dropping from 60 anymore, or at least not a lot. Maybe this is a less demanding area. I'm just gonna keep on running around here, or driving around. We're seeing some slight stutters, very slight stutters sometimes, but not as big as the ones that we saw in DirectX 11, of course. Okay, so this is, yeah, we're getting 90 something percent utilization on the GPU, 50% something on the CPU, so it's a little bit less CPU intensive, but the CPU still bottlenecks the 1080. It's dropping less from 60 FPS than in DirectX 11, and I think, of course, I have gone through different roads and different paths here in the benchmark run. I'm not doing the exact same thing, but you know, it's very similar. It's definitely a little bit less intensive. Anyways, we are near the water right now, so the FPS are dropping into the 50s because the water is completely broken in the X12. Oh, come on, people, get out of the way. Thank you very much. They actually did it this time around. Okay, then. Over here near the river once again, it's close to 60. Not too bad. You know, whenever you're near water, the experience is gonna be worse than DirectX 11. But whenever you're running through the cities or driving through the city, I keep on saying running. I'm not running, I'm driving. Yeah, god damn it. Whenever you drive around the city, I think the experience is better in DirectX 12. Whenever you are near water, it's better in DirectX 11. It's not fluctuating as much as DirectX 11 as well. It's still dropping into the 50s, but I feel like it's a little bit smoother, and it shows by the 1% lows as well, I think. We're getting 46. I don't remember how many FPS we got earlier, but yeah, it's dropping into the 40s at 1080p, so I believe it will drop into the low 30s at 1440p, which is gonna be kind of crazy because this is GTX 1080, but again, this is probably a bug. They might fix it. I'm not too sure at this point because they're taking a while to do it, but okay. I'm gonna stop it right there. 61 FPS average, 43 1% lows. I don't know, maybe the 1% lows are lower than 1080p in DirectX 11. Here we go, 2560 by 1440 and 80 FOV, still the same settings, of course. Here we go. The motion blur is turned off. And okay, yeah, low to mid 30s near the water, so that's a big drop coming from the DirectX 11, of course. But if you avoid these areas altogether, I guess the experience will be better in DirectX 12. I'm not really sure, guys. Let me know what you guys would play on. Do you prefer the slight hitching in the frame time graph, or do you prefer the slower frame rates near water? Because whenever you are in a city, it's a much better experience than DirectX 11. You can see that the frame time graph is still not flat. I was expecting it to be flat, to be honest, but it's much better, it's much flatter, and it's much more consistent than DirectX 11. So we're here near the river as well. The FPS are dropping. We're gonna go ahead and keep on driving. There are the cops there, but that's okay. That's totally fine. We're just gonna go now, please. Okay, let's go this way. Don't even know where I'm going. I don't play this game outside of benchmarking, to be honest. Oh, so okay. I didn't wreck my car. Okay, it's still good, still perfectly good for a thumbnail. Where am I going? I have no idea. What is this? What is this? Another stutter there. That was noticeable. Okay, so the game seems to still have those slight stutters. I've also seen these with the GTX 1650 Super, but not with something like the 1050 Ti, for example, or GTX 1650, the normal one. And I'm also seeing it now with the 1080. Maybe they broke something with an update. I don't know, but it's not really game breaking. It happens like once every 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, I don't know. Now it's completely smooth once again. I believe this is a better experience than DirectX 11, just because that was really noticeable. And now whenever I pan the camera around, god damn it, what, oh gosh, the sidewalks in this game make you jump. Anyways, whenever you pan the camera around, it's smooth. It's not like 60 FPS smooth, but it's smooth. No, stop honking at me. I'm gonna grab you. Oh yes, okay. You know what, people sometimes say that this game looks horrible. I don't know, on very high settings, 1440p, it does look kind of decent, as you can probably tell. Right now the frame time graph is completely flat, as you can tell, much better than the X11. When you start driving fast, not running, oh god, we got another stutter there, driving fast through the city, you can see it fluctuating a little bit, but it's still a very nice experience here compared to what we were getting in DirectX 11. Let's go to the park area right now and see our minimum FPS once again. Yes, I've already seen that. Okay, so I guess the video is done. So thank you very much for watching this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope it was helpful to you. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to watch more videos like this one and other different videos that I have in the channel. I'm gonna get out of here right now. As always, guys, love you all. Bye-bye.